gotta talk about some gatekeepers, man, and why some of this stuff is not going through. And we gonna go in. We gonna go in heavy, man. Pause. Kanye. Conway the Machine, man, went in on Funkmaster Flex.
Went in on him.
Bebo's favorite DJ, man, in New York, and was basically talking about how he never showed love. Never showed Griselda love, and that he's one of the gatekeepers, him and DJ Super Sus One, and how they've been basically kind of blocking a little bit of dry hating on some of the young cats, man. What's y'all thoughts just on this? But not only New York, but some of these older guys, man, Sus Diddy, that are basically trying to stay relevant by using some of the young people, like putting Bryson Tiller on your song, and then just putting a little 8-bar verse on there.
Bro, what was that?
But we have some of these gatekeepers, man, who don't really want some of the hip hop coming through. Like that Nas Magic should have been a #1 record, but because it's on an independent joint, because it's not making them money, they're not putting it on their radio stations or those playlists on like a Spotify joint. What's your thoughts just on what Conway's saying? And also DJ Chocolate Boy Wonder jumped in on this too, by the way.
Sure did.
So,
he did.
I mean,
what was your thoughts on this?
Conway is 100% correct with facts too. But then your boy try to come back with the but you was on so-and-so's album, or you jumped on a song with some dude. That's way after the fact of what he's talking about. He's talking about Griselda been doing music since like 2014. 2015-ish era. They've been doing that. They've been on that underground scene for a long time. He's talking about that time frame that you didn't want to put them in there when they was out barring everybody. Even some of your favorite artists, they was out barring, and you didn't want to put them on at all because they was getting pushed by cats on like Sirius XM. What's the white DJ's name from Boston? I know you know who I'm talking about. Static Selector. Like Static Selector was the one that was pushing Griselda back in the day. That's how they kind of got out there. And
facts.
Sway. They both of them cats was the one pushing them. So that's what Conway's talking about. Like, dude, we've been in the city. We've been getting stamped by Raekwon. We've been got stamped by Method Man. We've been done stamped by Jada, Ghost. All them kids, they was doing music with all them dudes a long time ago, but you never even tried to put them on, and you knew they was making their hip hop that everybody missed back then. That's what he's talking about, calling them the gatekeepers. But yet you want to put the Jack Harlows and people like this quote unquote safe
playing Cardi B like 20 times.
You playing Cardi B 20 times a day. You doing
and no not the Cardi though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know it's corporate, but then you want to try to challenge this man because he's jumping on other people's songs that's in the game.
That's
like
what gatekeepers do, man.
Yeah, that's what gatekeepers do. That's all he could turn to. That's all he could turn to.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's 100% facts. Because Wu was saying the same thing back in the day. Remember they had to pull.
Remember they had an issue with them over performance.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah,
man. This has been going on far before Griselda. But Conway is definitely right.
And let's be clear though, this is also a what do you call it? Like, this was the status quo prior to, you know, the streaming era, right? Is that when you were coming up in the 90s and 2000s, you didn't get nowhere without the gatekeepers. You had to go through the gatekeepers.
You had to go through DJ.
You had to. There was no other option to go in and do something different. So I think one of the other things is that for some of these guys, because they've been gatekeepers for so long, I just think they don't know any other way to operate, man. Like, they only know how to operate in that mode and in that function. And I think Flex is one of those guys, man. Like, we all know people.
That's true, Power. But Flex should still be.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is we all at our age now, we all know the guy who is still, you know, stuck in 02 or 03 and you can't tell them nothing new. You can't tell them a new artist to check out. Like, you can't do any of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy to me, but it's crazy that some guys can get to 40 and then they just like, nope. Like the only things that's hot is from when I was 20 and before. Everything after, you know, I was 25 is not hot. And they don't want to hear it, man. And there's a lot of those guys out here like this, and I think it's a lot of these guys that are gatekeepers that are like that as well. They don't want to hear nothing else new. And so some of this is just the status quo. And but to Jammer's point, right? Conway is 1,000% right about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's also like, you know, it's like saying the sky is blue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. It really is. I mean, Power 500 is right to a degree when he said, you know, Conway's already been stamped by legends, so he really shouldn't need the stamp from Flex. I think it's just a principle, though. I think he's really talking for other artists too. Is because they be capping a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? Then dude try to like throw locks in there and talking about, oh, y'all still ain't basically better than LOX. Like, what's LOX got to do with this whole situation?
Like, Funk Flex will go on the radio and promote Sus Bobby Smurda.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of it too is and go in Bebo at some point. Is it also the bag though that Funk's get from these record labels too? Is it only, dog? It's not the money, Bebo.
Absolutely, you know it's
pull out them dollars.
Pull out them dollars. They're getting a lot of these. Is that what they get?
Yeah, get on them. Put out them blues, man.
Well, these ain't the gatekeeper dollars, but they're getting something similar, y'all.
Man. Come on, man.
No, but seriously though, you guys are so spot on. In that Conway is in what Conway is getting at here. I mean, Conway is absolutely right. He's really just echoing what we've all known, those under the table deals that DJs get.
Power 500.
And
shout out to K Slay real quick, because he was the one that basically put a lot of cats on. That's what Flex wasn't doing. If you wasn't pro Jay-Z, you wasn't getting played.
And you know,
I forgot about that. I forgot to shout out K Slay earlier, but him, Sway, Static Selector. Even 50's old DJ was putting a lot of them cats on too.
All day. But
Green Lantern.
DJ Green Lantern. Yep. But I mean, y'all, the purpose of the gatekeeper is basically what L was saying at least a few times. It's their job to perpetuate and to maintain whatever their version of the status quo is. So Funk Flex and Hot 97, they've been at this for decades.
Decades. You talking about Who Kid JK, by the way, right?
My bad. Who Kid.
Man, Who Kid. And I got shout out to the Black Authority. He's always says you always got to watch out for some of these old N-words.
You do.
This is why. But you know what? I gotta say that a portion of Flex's statements about, didn't you work with this cat and that cat, you know, from the A-list, it does hold some level of weight to the point where it's not like Conway's trying to get on in the game. He's in a position to where he has intermixed pause with, you know, the elite cats. You know, he's been with the Sus Diddies and the Bow Wows at some type of party
absolutely
event and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with the Jays and the Ye West on the Dondas and so forth. So I think we all understand that. So I mentioned that because, and Power really took it from me, because we talked about this on Fresh Out about K Slay. You know what I'm saying? He was connected to the point where he also was willing to put on the underdog, or at least to make that attempt. And I think it's Conway's responsibility, since he, you know, is passionate about what he's talking about here, to be the artist version of the, you know, the 2022 K Slay moving forward. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, now that's what, how could you move forward and putting on the next man, since you're already on with Griselda?
No, absolutely, Bebo. And that's why when we talked about this in one of the previous Fresh Outs, when Conway was caught in that hot tub with Bow Wow and Diddy, we said that we were basically like, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole grassroots that Griselda built from the ground up, like that was a movement that they built from we ain't seen that in a long time. What they built. You know what I'm saying? So that goes to Power's point of he's already been stamped. So at this point, what is you really trying to prove by finagling with Diddy?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I get it, because at some point you want the bag for your artistry, you want the bag for your work, because these dudes been grinding, like I said.
Yeah,
since
you
like
can't be a martyr. You got to make some money at some point.
Yeah, you got to make some money at some point. So I completely get that. I'm not hating on Conway for that.
None of us are.
But when Flex came with that point, there was some truth serum in that. Not saying that I agree with Flex, but there was some truth serum in that.
I don't agree with that brother fully either.
So,
but yeah,
that's why I said, to your point, I'm glad you brought that up, Bebo, because we needed to go ahead and address that too. And Power brought that up too. So those are two great points that we really needed to address, because Griselda already been stamped. They was stamped years ago by Busta. Okay, Slick Rick has been on 2 Westside Gunn albums. You know what I'm saying? Black Thought, 3 Westside Gunn. So they're getting legends. So it's almost like
Jill Scott
exactly.
And had a
but rapping. I get it, because at the end of the day, Conway is not just speaking for Griselda. He's speaking for all the cats who's coming up in that same lane, who deserves a spot just like Uzi Vert.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I do think it is important.
Man, R.I.P. Fred the Godson. Agree with that.
Yeah, he sure. Yeah, man.
Shout out,
peace to and salute to Fred the Godson, man. But yeah, you're spot on, J Camp, and that I think it is still important and whatnot for Conway, who's already established in the game, to have voiced what's been going on for so long. So I got to give him, Conway, his flowers for that, because overall we agree wholeheartedly with Conway and Pete Rock in terms of what's been going on. But, when these elitists, these modern day talented 10th cats or entities want to, bite back as if they have some standing because they get, responsive, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't it doesn't cast a shadow on the truth of what's been going on for so long. So, shout out to you, Conway, Flex. All right. Yeah.
Then you're gonna try to throw LOX in there, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
it had nothing to do with the matter.
And Griselda have done music together, great music. Like, let's not go there, bro.
Yeah,
let's not go there.
As L would say. And peace to L. I saw he had to dip, but stop. Just stop.
Right, stop it.
No, don't
stop it.
Let's stop it. So
this thing, how can this be resolved, man? Like, because my thing is like, who gives a freak about the radio stations nowadays? You can get busy other ways, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
how can this be resolved? Because at the end of the day, let's be clear, man. Funkmaster Flex is a gatekeeper because you get paid to play certain stuff. You get paid to do certain parties and events, man. So you're going to actually, and then also, let's be clear, him and Jay don't have the best record. So once you sign with Rock Nation, he ain't really mess with you like that. He going to push other people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's be clear. There's a business side to this too, other than just dry hating.
Well, that's why I was saying that Conway needs to be the artist version of what DJ K Slay was, during his time. To the best of his ability, because radio, I even saw Pete Rock had said in a part of the statement that, Hot 97 stopped playing Wu-Tang Clan like decades ago. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're definitely
and they called it out. Ghost and them called it out real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Peace to Ghostface and them and all the Wu, really. But still, it's just, whatever it is that, like, Conway is basically in the position to see what he can do to sit down with a creative, whether it's just he himself, or maybe with a genuine collective group of creative individuals, a mastermind of some sort, to figure out what it is that he can do to help the next man that's trying to get on, that doesn't have the same advantages as maybe another group of talented individuals or individual who might have more resources. And I think this is a great opportunity for Conway to start utilizing some brain power and some creativity as far as what he can do, behind the scenes and on Front Street.
Man, that's why if people like Conway would just put power behind entities like FRSHOUT, like,
there you have it.
That type of machine and the whole grassroots of this would just blow up tremendously, man. Because to me, that's where it starts. You got to put it into the hands of people who know hip hop, who love hip hop.
Right.
And I'm not dissing like anybody like the drill stuff, like this ain't about that. I'm talking about like the cats like Conway who would never get on the radio because of the perception of the music.
Yeah,
no different than Wu-Tang. It's the perception of that type of music because it's not club. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you put the brain power and the money behind the FRSHOUTs of the world, that's where it's going to start. That's why you only going to get the Static Selectors and the K Slays.
I think if like
pushing it.
I think what you said is so very vital, J Camp. It's going to be dope to see your people such as Conways and folks of that ilk really just start to give kudos to your FRSHOUT type groups, or, you know, your artists, you know, that might be highly talented but struggling, you know, to just get recognition, whether they get accepted by the industry or not. Just, you know, just some type of, hey, you know, this is my guy, you know, go ahead and check out such and such. I mean, something like that. Just something
stuff that we doing on here, like with Bars of Week books and all that stuff.
Give
like to me, I think you would have more artists like Earth Gang and stuff like that, man.
Oh yeah,
these dudes will be doing way more numbers because some people don't even listen to some unless it's on the radio, unless somebody else tells them that it's good. You know,
I know people in my family who only listen to the radio. That's the only outlet, the music they had. Okay. So think about how jaded you can be if your only outlet to music is that. Like, you wouldn't know what's out there because you wouldn't even know where to look. But the FRSHOUTs of the world is what's going to give you that. And to me, again, Conway, Griselda, whoever, put your brains and your money and your influence behind the grassroots, behind the people in the we got boots on the ground. Like, we know what's hot.
That's right.
We know.
We do.
It ain't nothing to it but to do it. But that's what's gonna get. That's what's gonna push the music, though. That's what's gonna push the music.
And to start off something simple, and this one might have been alluded to like maybe an external degree, but all you got to do is maybe just kind of you know, do like a little 1-2 minute little video or something like that. If you come across an act that you know is legit, and you'd like to see them get some recognition, just do like a little YouTube channel, like how what's the R&B cat? I mean, he does the motivational joints. Iceberg, what's the name? Rico Love.
Yeah, shout out to Rico, man.
Yeah, dude. You know how?
Milwaukee all day.
You know, just do something in the time frame of how Rico Love does his little motivational videos on YouTube, and just do the same thing while Griselda or whoever's in the studio just take a little time out during one of y'all.
Crazy is No Jumper. No Jumper has a episode on YouTube. Shout out to No Jumper podcast and the YouTube channel. They actually play artists' music. Yes, you got to pay to get on it, but at least they give you an opportunity to tap into their network. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, even if you charging cash, man, at least do something where you're trying to get new music, because that's honestly, if you smart, you get with the new cast and you sign them. You know
it's funny. It's funny you say that, brother, because when I went to a business seminar several years ago, the one thing that they said about advertising is the purpose of advertising is to pay for, you know, basically that exposure. You gotta that's a primary contributor to advertising. So it's funny that you say that. It is. There you go.